um, trying to drop my daughter off at the local clinic nearby. There was a lot of detours that weren't normal. Like traffic was going directions that it don't normally go. Right? There's normal morning rush hour, but this was different. So I'm at the intersection of in Vermont, and it is 8 full uniform regular police. About 4 or 5 of them have all black, not blue. And then it was a lady, tall lady, long legs, walking with a hound dog crossing the street. And the officer got out of his car and told me that I could not turn. And then the lady came by with the hound dog, and it was going up. He was like, "You're not going to be able to turn or do anything. Just stay here." He wouldn't say what was going on, what the reason was, but I've never seen hound dogs, law enforcement, all black law enforcement, and USC police all working together with a hound dog. So what? I don't know what's going on at 8:30 in the
Okay.
morning. Okay.
You notice
During
anything?
the middle of morning rush hour traffic. I'm
Okay,
a mute.
so
Okay, so
the way I'm reading this is
yes.
something similar that's been happening to me. One second. Okay, so what's been going on is the officers that are wearing black are representing the Black Pope and the false ruling and the false imperial ruling family of Japan who run Asia, China and Japan, Red Dragon. They work through the priesthood. These false rulers give orders through the priesthood. So what has happened to me this same week is when I gave an order. So as you know, I can give orders through my courts, the imperial tribal courts that have to be respected and given full faith and credit. And that whom in which I've been communicating with the heads of state, the international courts and international criminal courts regarding the Article 15 claim and complaint for the land. For all who do not know what that means that's an Article 15 complaint. The United Nations Declaration, Article 15, go look it up. It's an order to decolonize the land. So, along with that, and my tribal governance and having a full blown, authentic, dually proclaimed tribe, I have been writing, issuing orders from my own tribal court regarding the lands that I have claimed and the various issues that my court has weighed in on, including divination court. So this past week, I gave the order for all colonial powers, the Vatican, Nicene Council, the Cabal, the Jesuits, the Archdiocese, meaning the white pope, the gray pope, the black pope, the red pope, the chaplain of Spain, and all of their constituents, which are the Catholic churches and all religious groups, apostolic churches, um, who you may notice hooded masks and clothes that look like the Ku Klux Klan, because they are all one and the same. They are the ones who came on the land with the Inquisition and started colonizing and forcing people to assimilate under their new Christian authorities by the way of Christian crusade. So I ordered them by way of royal decree and imperial tribal court to return back the spiritual inheritance, physical inheritance, and financial inheritances. So when I did that, in a matter of hours, police cars were following me, stalking me, which they haven't been around me because I've already given the orders for them to leave. It's been a battle and a fight that I've been going back and forth with them personally that I know of for the last 4 years. When I found out, additionally to me being a tribal leader and a shaman and having my own tribe and issuing these orders anyway, I'm already moving in this image and likeness. I found out in my self discovery that my bloodlines were some of the ruling bloodlines on earth that have ever existed and that are still being utilized to this day by individuals who have been impersonating those bloodlines and identities. So they tried to kill off all the bloodlines and take their place, but they couldn't kill us all off. And that just reminds me of, I heard Dick Gregory say that plenty of times, that they cannot kill us all, right? So that's who deployed, and they've been not only following and trying to pull our energies and identities and trying to steal, impose, and enforce their wills on us because it's over for them. They've been ordered to leave. Um, the decolonization of 1960 should have been happening. It's been agreed upon by all nations and it's been ordered. So now what I'm seeing is that they're trying to follow not only me but others that are the aboriginals and aborigine of the promised land, because in that order and in previous orders I had put an order for them to relinquish our inheritance to us, our birth certificate trust, our loyalty accounts, royalty accounts, all of our accounts must be relinquished back to us. Okay, so this is why they have been really coming out to fight on their last leg, because they have no more room to exist. They are now in their last stance to fight on the land. They have no more authority. They have been exposed to the 10th degree. These things that's been going on has been ordered from high up in the religious sector. So again, going back to the spiritual aspect of it, these people and groups and authorities and officials in high places have been acting as spiritual criminals and committing acts of secrecy and sorcery. And we've been in this silent warfare for at least 100 years, unbeknownst to us. So now that we know, and we are now moving in our own spiritual powers of knowing and able to issue orders and weigh in on the subjects that are taking place upon the land, the industry that's taking place on the land, the governance that's taking place on the land, they are in a frenzy. I've seen it too. I've seen them in EMT trucks with all black on and black glasses following me. I've seen them in police cars with all black on following me. Not even a uniform, just black, all black on. These are priests, satanic priests, who are doing the bidding of their higher priests. And that is the Pope, who represents the Nicene Council, who represents the Christian Crusaders who came and stole the lands and governments and industries from us. So now that we want it back, they are in full arms against us. So they tried everything they could to put their hands on me, harnessing all the energies and powers from all of these secret groups, churches, and all of their congregations too. Because no time ever have they been able to approach me, accost me, or come onto my property. But they was able to do it, and their whole mission was to see if they could gang up on me, bully me, make me submit to their will. This was all, you know, a real life Game of Thrones, to see if they could conquer me, because they cannot get around me in court. They cannot get around me at no point in court before I even got to this knowledge of self, this higher knowledge of self. They couldn't beat me in court. I got $101,006,000 in the name of the Moors, Empress Nintio Bay versus the state of North Carolina, still on the books. They don't want to pay me that. They want to fight me for that. They can never beat me in court, meaning they could never pin nothing on me. A whole time, it was all false. See, had I not gained the knowledge that I gained in life before these challenges happened, I probably would have folded, because I wouldn't have known any better. But because I know too much, according to them, I know I'm being violated. You can't pin something on me that I know is not right, that I know is false. And now that I know, and I really know who I am, come on, you ain't getting away with nothing. And I'm on them with all the powers and the might and the force of my ancestors, and I'm gonna see this thing through. And that was the prophecy I was given several times throughout my 30s. At first, at around the age of 30, then 33, and then several more after that, for me to bring the land back that was promised to us. And so my journey is not just about me. I had to realize that when they held me down and put me in the hole for 13 months, this last stint in 2023. Yeah, for 13 months. That was a lesson that I had to learn that I didn't get before. So anytime and the whole time my ancestors and the Most High God, Mother God, Father God had their hand on me the whole time. You see what I'm saying? They had their hand on me the whole time, allowing this to happen. Because when you got a calling on your life and it's attached to the masses, ain't nothing they can do on this earth that can affect you. And what's being done to you is being allowed by the Most High to mold you and put you in the fire. You know, it's like as you being forged in the fire. I don't care how old you are. You know what I'm saying? So at the age of 50, I had just turned 50. These idiots come on my property talking about I'm squatting and I got cash receipts. Okay, I'm already knowing it's BS, but everybody onlooking who don't know me, they think they looking at this house still because they playing the narrative. She got caught again in the house, and they couldn't get me out the first house, and now I'll turn around and buy this house, and you still playing the game, but people don't know that, so they playing on the sensitivities of the masses to see if this defamation can work, because they want to get me out of the limelight. They want to make me give up. They want to wear me down, and they got all the other agendas that they wanted to do while they had me locked up. So now I had to double down. I'm giving orders every day. I'm doing my job. I'm not letting my ancestors punish me again, because it was something that I didn't do that I should have done already. It's like this should have been over with. We've been going back and forth with this for 65 years. Decolonization is over. These people, these beings in Italy, in Spain, in Germany, keep trying to occupy the land. And this is why they're getting burned out of South Africa, because and they trying to run to all these other countries. No, you have to go back to where you came from, wherever that is. You can't come to Australia, you can't come to America. I already said they're not coming here. These fake Afrikaners, two wrongs don't make it right. Now they want to say that. Well, two wrongs don't make it right. Get the people back their land that your ancestors stole, and everything will be settled. You cannot continue to occupy. It's over. So that's where we at. And they've been in a frenzy. They've been off the ziggity boom over here, following me and my daughter yesterday, walking the dog. It was police cars, all these sirens, um, medical trucks, paramedics and EMTs, fire trucks. But they've been doing this to me for years. I'm already knowing the play. I'm not even saying nothing no more. To my daughter, she don't understand. Once you elevate to a high spiritual level, you see all these things because you've been through it and you know what's going on in spirit realm. So they done sent all of their fraternal orders out to try to do whatever they can do, make prayers around me, get close to me. I stopped all police activity when I was in jail. They thought I was just sitting there. While they studying me, I was studying them and I was doing my homework. And I learned how to move shit with my mind. I didn't have my fires. I didn't have my cauldron, my pot. They put me all over the news for being a witch having a cauldron. My ancestors told me to get that cauldron. I don't give a damn what nobody say when all they do is act of secrecy and sorcery. The highest witches, warlocks, and wizards is in the Catholic Church, in the cabal, in the Vatican. And they are the ones who've been secretly coming against us. And they had a nerve to put me in the news and try to smear my name because I got up on game and I figured them out. And we start whooping them. That's when me and the tribe started doing our fires every day, getting them up out of here. So yeah, that's where we are. We up to level with them now, spiritually. And anytime you get in a situation like that, you are the authority. You start sending out your warriors and your spirit team to do whatever it is you need done on the land. Don't let them have their way, because that's what that was about. We in the real life Game of Thrones, tribe. That's really what it's about. They're trying to see how far they can go, what they can get away with spiritually. Because if they don't feel your power spiritually, they're not going to respect you, and then they're going to start encroaching upon you. So that's what the lesson for me was all about. When I was locked up in the hole, they kept trying to encroach upon me, get closer and closer, bringing gangs of men in there, seeing how close they can get to my cell. I heard them talking about acts of rape. I saw them acting out, um, doing conjecture with a broad laying on the floor. I saw them and I heard all of they members they was bringing in there doing witchcraft, singing songs, yelling and bolting out songs from artists and stuff like that. So I already knew the industry, music industry individuals was involved. I would come in my cell and names would be written on the wall. Etches would be in the stone. One time a guitar was etched in the stone. Every day they was doing something. So whoever was in lead that day, they would try to leave a mark somewhere in my cell. And then they would have a artist or they up and coming artists, I guess, doing their rituals or doing their initiation in jail with me, yelling out, "This the Illuminati, bitch." You and saying, literally saying, "You in the Vatican, bitch." So they let me know clearly what time it was, which I already knew, but it was a confirmation, and it was really a confirmation. When I got out, when I started figuring out that this was a spiritual game I was playing, they had me locked up in there. I started binding like we always do in our prayers and in our fires, binding them with love, and then I started reversing everything they was doing back to them. Whatever they doing to put me in here, whatever, you know, wicked prayers they making, and this was what hurt me, is that these people was able to use the spirit realm and prayer to do these awful things to us. How are they able to? So I had to stop it. My ancestors told me you had the power to stop it when you get them out of here, and when you create your laws, when you strengthen your laws. That's what they said. I heard it clear as day. When you strengthen your laws and you get them up out of here, then you can get out. It's like I was being put through a test, a lesson, a punishment. I was like, because my ancestors was right there. And every time my godfather, my Babala, will do my readings for me, he always tell me not to worry because my ancestors is right there with me. He can see it in the reading, you know. And once I started getting spiritual readings from him, and it was always on the money, I said, what kind of system are they using? It's just the ancient system of Ifa. So when he gives me some advice, I know it's on the money. And so some years back, when he first initiated me as a high priestess into Ifa, he told me, "Don't worry about nothing." When I came to him about 4 years ago, and I just couldn't stop crying because it was like the tears of my ancestors. It was just mixed with tears of joy and just relief and just hurt and just anguish that their whole lives and legacy has been tarnished and turned upside down by these liars who stole everything from us. When I found out my true bloodlines and who I'm from and where I'm from, and I'm already walking in the image and the likeness of them, that's when I went and closed down the court in Mecklenburg County, and it went viral. Okay, after I did that, it got real quiet. The court stayed closed for 9 months. The week or two after I sent in the imperial tribal order from my tribal court, under seal, under our great seal with 3 lions on it, by the way, they started attacking me again. I said, what kind of crazy mess is this? So by the time they start trying to send the illusions and the confusion spells out, trying to fool everybody and trying to make me think I'm not who I am, I had already reached that pinnacle. I had already seen it. So it wasn't nothing they could do to try to fool me. They kept trying to act like I wasn't who I was in jail, trying to diminish me, trying to make me feel like I'm less than human, dehumanize me, break me down. All of this mind control, mind techniques they was doing. And I started sending those back also. And people around me, it was showing up. So this lesson, I was able to see everything in a close confine within this jail cell. I'm watching everything and I'm hearing everything. So I'm seeing the manifestation of my ancestors' magic happen right before my eyes. So as I'm sending it back to them, because I'm starting to realize when they trying to get me to go to court and determine my capacity, when I'm supposed to be here for a house, I already know what the move is. Y'all trying to play me like I'm crazy? And why would you want to do that? It's a bigger agenda at play. Now that I done claimed everything, now that I done realized who I was, when these people high up already been knowing who I was, now they want to try to take from me. They want to be the ones in control of my estate and the things that I own. They know I bought that house, and come to find out, it's some more assets and inheritance attached to me that I knew nothing about. So this is what they've been doing. So when I start speaking out loudly about who I am, The international courts, the criminal courts, everybody checked into it. The people, the higher ups in America already knew who I was. They already knew my bloodline before I even knew it. That's why they was following the orders like clockwork for years since 2014. But I'm just thinking I'm this special tribal leader that they listening because I'm following the law. I'm following tribal law, which was rightfully so. But it's just amazing how the spirit worked. You know, you could be doing something according to God's plan and according to the destiny of your life without even knowing it. So as I'm doing what I'm doing, going along my merry way, these people in government, authorities and officials already knew the bloodline I'm from because it's documented who the beneficiary is. Lo and behold, surprise, surprise, who is the beneficiary? You see what I'm saying? So that's how everything has been playing out. So every time I make a move, which is at this point giving orders from my tribal court, I see something happen in the physical realm, also in the spiritual realm. I can feel it. I can feel the attachments they're trying to make to my body. I can feel them trying to hang on to my jugular vein, to my kidney, to my liver, to my life force energy. So this is a very deep game that I am in, that I was thrown into. I had to figure it out. So all the players at the top, these royals and these imperials who've been running things, they know this high science. They know sorcery. They know spiritual powers. I came into this not knowing anything. I had to figure it out. I had to figure out what it is to be a ruler, what it is to be claiming all of these things that I'm claiming and that I'm walking in. I had to figure out how to be the ruler that I proclaim to be. And it starts spiritually. Because if they cannot defeat you spiritually, they cannot conquer you or defeat you in the physical. And that's what I kept hearing. I kept hearing my ancestors tell me that. Because I kept saying, I'm going to get a machine, I'm going to get an automatic weapon for these thugs when they come back to my door. Because I'm tired of these false officers. They bringing them in from different states, coming around me, trying to be on my property, trying to bang on my door, trying to harass me. I'm going to get me some heat. And the first thing come in my mind, no, you're not. You're more powerful than them. You're going to make them bow down. You're going to stop them from doing everything um, spiritually. And so that's when I dedicated myself 100% full fledged to learning my spiritual powers. And when I'm thinking I'm at my spiritual power, highest at my spiritual powers, when they bang came and snatched me from the house when they couldn't even get close to the house because I put all my prayers and my oil and everything in the dirt around the house. So for 2, 3 years, they was trying the same move, and I had already sent the paperwork in and the copy of my cashier's check to the higher authorities, and I let them know these people keep trying to make a move on me. They're gonna try to take my house. So I'm making this known and I'm making this complaint now. So before it even happened, it was already on the record with the authorities like 2.5 years prior to that. Because they kept making, I could see the moves they was doing. They kept making excuses. They kept doing little stuff, news telling me I'm doing a nuisance around the house if the grass get a little high and it's not even that high. I'm saying, so what are they trying to pull? What move they trying to make now? So I already knew it was a move in play. So when I figured out what that move was, I sent the paperwork in and let them know to watch these officials, these corrupt officials that are doing whatever they want to do around my house. Every house I done been in, they done finagled and finessed a way to get me out of it, not following due process of the law, never a lawful order, and everybody who did it got in trouble, fired, dead and gone, whatever the case may be. But it still didn't stop me and my children from having to go through the BS. So that's when I knew, and I started to figure out is something, what is going on, is something bigger at play. Why am I so significant to these people that they feel like they have to conquer me, they have to bully me, try to strong arm and railroad me constantly because I'm the one with all the lawful authority that they've been using as imposters, impersonating me since birth. I'll leave that right there, you know, and we'll be back for another one. That is the truth, and ain't no other truth and way around it. Believe it or not, that's what it is. And there's going to be a whole change in this world that's going to shock everybody. I'm just here to tell you, get ready.